In 1587, a group of English settlers came to a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. They were excited to start a new life. Led by John White, they wanted to make a permanent English settlement in the New World. They had big dreams of success and a happy community. The trip across the Atlantic Ocean was long and hard, but they were happy when they arrived at Roanoke Island. They thought they were starting a new life that would bring them wealth and success. The settlers were full of adventure and determination, ready to build a new life in a land full of promise. They hoped to create a community that would last a long time. They named it Roanoke Island. This name would later be known for its mystery. The island, between the mainland and the barrier islands, seemed like a great place for their settlement. It offered protection from the sea and a good spot for trade and defense. The settlers thought they had found the perfect place to build their new home. The lush land and many natural resources promised a good future. They imagined a thriving colony that would help future English explorers. The island's beauty and advantages made it an attractive place for the settlers. They built houses, planted crops, and worked hard to make a permanent home. The settlers built a fort and started their village. They worked tirelessly, hoping to create a lasting community. Their hard work showed their determination and resilience. Each day brought new challenges, but the settlers stayed focused on their mission. They believed their hard work would lead to a successful settlement. The settlers' dedication was clear in their efforts to build a thriving community. The weather was strange and resources were few. Coastal storms were strong and winters were colder than they expected. The settlers faced many challenges as they tried to adapt. The unpredictable weather and limited resources tested their resolve. Despite these hardships, they stayed committed to their goal. The harsh conditions forced them to find new ways to survive. They learned to rely on each other to overcome obstacles. The settlers' ability to adapt showed their resilience and determination. Relations with the native Algonquin tribes were tricky. Sometimes they worked together, but often there were misunderstandings and conflicts. The settlers' interactions with the native people were complex. While there were moments of cooperation, cultural differences often led to tension. The settlers tried to find a balance to live peacefully with the native tribes. However, tensions often flared, leading to skirmishes and mistrust. The settlers' efforts to build a good relationship with the native tribes had mixed results. John White, the colony's governor, decided to return to England for supplies. He left behind his family and the settlers, promising to return quickly. White's departure was hard but necessary. He hoped to get the resources needed to help the colony survive. His departure marked a turning point for the settlers, who now had to fend for themselves. The promise of his return gave them hope, but as time passed, that hope began to fade. The settlers faced the reality of their isolation and uncertain future. White's absence left a void in the colony, as the settlers struggled without his leadership. However, his return was delayed by war and bad weather. The settlers faced rising tensions and dwindling resources. White's journey back to England was full of obstacles. The war with Spain and severe storms delayed his return, leaving the settlers in a tough situation. As time passed, their hope for his return began to fade and their situation grew worse. The settlers struggled to maintain their community. Their supplies dwindled, and the harsh conditions took a toll on their health and morale. The once hopeful colony now faced the grim prospect of survival without the support they needed. The settlers' resilience was tested to its limits. When White finally returned in 1590, he found the colony deserted. The only clue was the word CROATOAN carved into a post. White's return to Roanoke was met with silence. The once busy settlement was now empty, with no sign of the settlers. The carving of CROATOAN was the only hint left behind. The sight of the abandoned colony was a stark contrast to the vibrant community he had left. The eerie silence and the mysterious message left him with more questions than answers. The disappearance of the settlers added a new layer of mystery to the Roanoke colony. Was it a clue to their whereabouts or a curse? The mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke had begun. The message sparked many theories and speculations. Some believed it meant the settlers had moved to CROATOAN Island, while others feared it was a sign of their demise. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The story of the lost colony continues to intrigue and mystify. The legacy of Roanoke serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by those who ventured into the unknown. The mystery of the lost colony endures, inviting speculation and investigation. Now that you heard the full story, what do you believe actually happened? Share your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and follow us for more mysteries, and stay tuned for next week's big story.